What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So long awaited by a lot of you. I get asked often, when is Seraphim Red coming? Well, it's here. At the release of this video, the pre-sale starts, and it is going to run from this Thursday morning at 9 o'clock Central Time, 9 a.m. Central Time, tongue twister, on to midnight the following Monday, which I didn't look at what the date was, but it's basically going to run from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. A 5-day pre-sale. So you do have the special pre-sale pricing, and my link, my affiliate link that saves you 10% off will be active, which is down below. And there's going to be a temporary code just in case for a secondary option, TLTG Red, which is only good for this pre-sale. Deactivates at the same time the pre-sale ends. That's also down below for you guys. Again, nothing about this review is to get you to blind buy. Do not do that unless you're certain and you were going to purchase anyway. That's for the people that are buying regardless. For those of you that want to sample, on Tuesday when these bottles ship out, samples will be available. The usual 3 ml spray samples are going to be up and available on the site. Hell, I'll put a picture of one right here. The stock photos for the website are already ready to go. You will be able to get samples, so sample first unless you're certain. But we are talking about Signature Seraphim Red, highly anticipated release from Zaharoff after Seraphim Blue was such a hit. And yes, I do still prefer Seraphim Blue. It's my favorite fragrance in my collection. It's my favorite release this year. But how does this measure up? Let's discuss it. Stay tuned. So I know that was a lot of info in the intro, but one more thing I have to touch on. Yes, George Zaharoff is a very dear friend, dare I say my best friend. There is natural bias here. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Again, I encourage you, sample. Just because I like it doesn't mean you will. Same thing went with Seraphim Blue. It's a 10 for me. Wasn't a 10 for everyone. I even said, just because I feel that way doesn't mean you will. And that goes for every fragrance I ever talk about, including everything from Zaharoff. Again, this is the way I feel wholeheartedly. I do enjoy the fragrance. George does not put anything mediocre out on the market. So again, take it with a grain of salt and be your own judge. Let's get into this review. So first things first, of course, we have to look at this presentation. I'll have some B-roll for you guys because one of the special things about this, which I'll just cut to the B-roll, is that Seraphim Red and Seraphim Blue combine with the Seraphim Angels to create one connected angel picture, both on the boxes and on the bottles. There's a protective film on the metal plate on the bottles for you to peel off. But as you can see, it's available in 2 ounce and 4 ounce, and you can do that both. And the beauty of these two sets that you see in the B-roll, they're not for me. I'm not keeping them. They are for you. Stay tuned to the end. We will discuss the details on how you can win those. Continental United States subscribers only will be eligible to win the 2 ounce set and the 4 ounce set, which we'll discuss at the end. Now, standard Zaharoff fare, as you can expect, he has his unique storytelling and design to his bottles and boxes and everything. But how does it smell? That's the main thing, right? Scent and performance. That's all you guys really care about. So with this one, I've been teasing that I dub it a Sweet Pepper Aquatic. I absolutely do. At the top, you're going to get piney green. Pine needles type of green with the minty eucalyptus and pink peppercorns. Very bright, fresh, not quite peppermint-like, but super vibrant pink peppercorns. Crisp, fresh, minty, and spicy with, like I said, that green pine needles type of feel. You get everything that the top offers in this note pyramid. You're going to get all of that. And you're going to get the familiar DNA of Seraphim Blue. The core DNA is there, the eucalyptus with the musk and that the sea notes as well as the red seaweed. You do get that salty sea breeze feel where it's not a heavy overdone aquatic, but it has that lightly salted sea breeze, misty in the air type of smell. It's that type of aquatic once again, where it's not over the top aquatic, but a distinctive aquatic, lightly salted accord is here. Now, the biggest difference to this one, obviously the omittance of the apple, the coconut, and the iris are gone. That is not supporting players here in this fragrance. What's going to stand out is the amber. So this rich color to this juice is very fitting. My buddy Joey Cannoli, shout outs to Joey Cannoli, he keeps saying nighttime, nighttime, nighttime. If blue is day, red is night. And that's a fair assessment. I think so. Now, I don't think this is distinctively just an evening fragrance. I think it's an absolute daily wear fragrance. I think this is more versatile than Seraphim Blue year-round for most people, though I like the iris. Again, Seraphim Blue is the perfect fragrance for me specifically, whereas this one, I think for more people overall that want a little bit more depth of spice and resin and woods, we'll get that here because we're bringing back the sandalwood from the signature Pour Homme DNA is now present in this one, where you got no woody notes from Seraphim Blue. The amber is more prominent. You have vetiver to intensify that woody note. And honestly, I feel like I get more vetiver than sandalwood because the sandalwood that Zaharoff uses is a creamier sandalwood most of the time. And here, I do get a light creamy nuance in the deep, deep dry down, but I get more of a dense woody presence, like a warm wood. Almost like, for those of you that have smelled like Creed Original Santal, or perhaps Mont Blanc Individuel, for those of you that haven't smelled Original Santal. Tomato, cheap designer, niche version, similar profiles. So the way the warm sandalwood smell comes across in that type of warm wood smell. And then with something to tie into the top, Terrace mentioned this to me earlier today at the recording of this. He kind of gets a little bit of Viking at the top because it's minty, aromatic, pink pepper. I get a little bit of that. So a few things that I can kind of throw some elements out there for you guys to kind of tie to it as a kind of what to expect kind of thing. Does it smell just like Viking? Absolutely not. Does it smell just like Original Santal? Absolutely not. But these are little nuances that I can pull from each of those to kind of give you an idea of how to kind of piece this puzzle together to paint you a picture, since at the recording of this, the day this video drops, you can't yet smell it. For those of you that are going to go out on the limb and do the pre-sale and go blindly into this, I don't encourage it, but I understand it's going to happen. Trying to paint the picture the best I can for you. Across the board, I think this offers a yin to the yang of what blue is. This truly is a yin and yang pairing. They were meant to go together. It's a day and night type of thing, kind of like how Noir and Royale were. It's a similar thing here to how Coco Loco and Citrine work. Because Coco Loco and Citrine were created together. Noir and Royale were created together. Seraphim Blue and Seraphim Red were created together. They tell a day and night, AM and PM type of story. But everything involved, all three of these pairings can be worn day or night. Just blue suits the daytime a little better. Red suits the nighttime a little bit better. So I hope I'm painting this picture to the best of my ability for you guys to give you an idea of what it smells. So to summarize the profile once more before we move into the performance: piney green, minty pink peppercorns, bright spicy pink peppercorns at the top. Then you start to settle into a warm, ambery, woody tone. You still get the musk and that salty sea breeze, aquatic feel. Not too heavy on the seaweed, but it is there. It's not as creamy of a fragrance as Seraphim Blue. It's not powdery at all like Seraphim Blue. Like I said, there's the core DNA of Seraphim Blue is here, but all the main supporting accords to make it a standalone fragrance and a different fragrance is here as well. I would say 50% of that DNA carried over to make it a true flanker to one another, a true pairing with very different personalities at the same time. Now let's talk about performance. So as with Seraphim Blue, I think it's a similar setup here, 8+ hours. It's another not really light blue with longevity like I described Seraphim Blue. This is definitely a very red fragrance. My wife, the first time she smelled it on it, she said, I even think the color red. That was the first thing she mentioned. She said, I'm thinking the color red for some reason. She said, is that George's new one? I said, sure is. It's Seraphim Red. Good call. I said, what nuance do you get? She said, spicy. So that was the first thing she mentioned. Just to give you guys a little insight. You know how certain aromas give you a color? It gives you, you'll see. Certain red bottles and so on, it evokes that color scheme. And this one definitely does it. It's appropriately named. It's more of a red bottle fragrance here. That's kind of how it fits into going into the evening. The spices, the woods, the amber. And it's more of a warm resinous amber accord. But as far as performance, again, 8+ hours easily. I've clocked this one beyond 10 hours. I'm wearing it currently. I have several sprays on my arms, neck, everything. I've gotten almost completely to the bottom. This was almost full, this 15 ml. This is the final rendition of this formula. This is the same formula. This is just a lab sample test batch that was about 2 ounces total, split into some 15 ml lab bottles. This is part of the big macerated production batch that filled all the bottles. So this is richer and deeper. Same exact formula, just richer and deeper and well macerated is the difference here. And it is noticeable. I get a lot more amber out of this one. So it's a deeper fragrance. It has depth to it. It has really good staying power, and the projection's not over the top. This is another one where you get a lot of longevity and really good sillage, but you don't get overwhelming projection. I've actually been spraying this one a little heavier because I spray blue pretty heavy. I always wear minimum 8 sprays when I spray blue. I've got like 12 sprays of this on right now, and it never overwhelmed me. I haven't gone anosmic to it. It didn't overwhelm my wife. I would say moderate arm's reach kind of stuff on up to about an hour and a half, 2 hours before it starts to sit a little close to the skin. And it's pretty consistent. It doesn't change a whole lot from the projection pushing off the skin early stages into the scent bubble and sillage and trail that you're gonna get left with for the majority of the time that it's on your skin. It's pretty consistent. It doesn't fade off much. I would say if it's an arm's reach for the first hour and a half to 2 hours, it's about half an arm the rest of the way. Very consistent scent bubble, kind of acts of more of a like, you know how designer parfums kind of do that? How I describe like Bleu de Chanel parfum, Polo Blue parfum, the way those kind of radiate off the skin. They're never too strong, but they trail really well. The cloud that you have around you has a pretty good thickness and heft to it. Similar way that this one acts with the sillage. I would call this a very moderate sillage, so constant reminders. It's very consistent the way this performs from top to bottom, from start to finish. It doesn't change with its strength much from the early stages on into the late stages. So across the board, above average performer, not a beast, but above average performer. Final thoughts on Seraphim Red? Well, I gave all of my thoughts, honestly. I typically don't rate George's fragrances. Seraphim Blue is a very, very rare exception for me to throw a 10 out like that. I've only done that twice ever. Because it felt like Claude and George made it for me, as some of you've heard me say before. So that's why I felt that was a 10. I'm not giving this a rating. Of course, it's a high grade. Again, I encourage you to sample. I do not encourage you to blind buy on the pre-sale. If you are going to, though, make sure you are absolutely certain. I don't want you to buy something just because I like it, because I know a lot of you trust my opinion, and I sure appreciate that. I respect and appreciate that and hold it in high regard, and I thank you guys for that trust. It's just one of those deals that be certain if you're going to jump on this pre-sale. I get it. Everybody wants a deal. Everybody wants to get in on the fun, but make sure it's something that you're actually going to get some joy out of and really get your money's worth. If you have even the slightest of doubts, please wait for the sample. Yeah, you're going to pay a few dollars more because you won't get the pre-sale plus 10% off, but even after the pre-sale, 10% off still going to work through my link. You can still get a little bit of a deal. It is not a limited run fragrance. If you have Seraphim Blue, it does go together as a pair. I understand as collectors, as some of you are, you're going to want the pair. I get all of those things. So just try to be as responsible as you can and not be too frivolous. I want to make sure to make that statement here and now because it's damn good. A lot of people are going to like it. If you like pink pepper, you're going to really enjoy this fragrance. That's the God's honest truth. It's warm and ambery without being over the top, like just warm and spicy, because it's a much more fresh, spicy fragrance than anything else, with a nice ambery undertone that strengthens as it turns into a warm amber wood as it gets deeper into the dry down and that pink pepper fades. Because the early stage is very much a 2-stage fragrance. It's very bright and spicy. That eucalyptus really lifts this thing, and just such a bright pink peppercorn smell, because pink pepper's already aromatic. Then you add eucalyptus into the fold with C notes and just all this aromatic ozonic notes. It's just such a bright opening to a warm, inviting, cozy, deep dry down. It's a damn good fragrance. There's not a single look, if you're a critic and you're a naysayer, hey, more power to you. Some fragrances aren't for everyone, but I stand on business when I say George Zaharoff does not release mediocre fragrances. If something's not your taste, hey, something's not your taste. It happens. It's all good. It goes for all these different brands, not just Zaharoff. So I say be cautious. That's my stance on this. My final thoughts. Absolute home run of a fragrance once again. I do think this is superior to Coco Loco, for those of you going to ask about the other freshies. I don't know if I'm ready to dethrone Citrine, because Citrine's my second favorite as far as the fresher stuff behind Seraphim Blue, because the opening is just so beautiful on Citrine. I think I got to put it right behind Citrine for me personally. It definitely falls into, if I got to throw it somewhere in the current top 10 rankings of Zaharoff, I can't put it over Seraphim Blue, obviously, or Rosé and Black Rose. That's my three favorites, no questions asked. Tobacco would be my number 4. I think this could go number 6 behind Citrine, because Citrine's my number 5. So I think this falls number 6 in the house of the, I think, 17 current house offerings that George has. Let's see, because the Extreme is on here. And that doesn't count because it's not released. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So of the 15, I was off on a little bit of, because Royale Triple X, though it's with Joey, it is a house release. So there's 15 currently that are on the market. I put it at number 6 of 15. So, because I know some of you are going to ask me. So I know these reviews tend to be a little bit longer, so I thank you to everyone that stuck with me all the way through. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on all notifications before you leave the video. And as far as the giveaways, so here's what you're gonna have to do, because here's how I can confirm that you're subscribed. So Continental United States subscribers only. You gotta like this video, you gotta subscribe to the channel, and you don't actually have to comment anything down below, because it's going to be a live giveaway Tuesday on launch day for Seraphim Red. You will have to have been subscribed for at least one whole day, because subscribers turned on for 24 hours, subscribers only for 24 hours will be turned on in the live chat. That confirms you're subscribed, because you won't be able to comment in the live chat if you're not subscribed. So you have until pretty much right before 5 o'clock Central Monday afternoon to be subscribed to the channel. And you do have to be present in Tuesday's live stream, which will be at 5 o'clock Central here on the channel. We will do a live giveaway of a pairing of 4-ounce Seraphim Blue and Seraphim Red. First prize. Second prize, 2-ounce pairing Seraphim Blue and Seraphim Red. So somebody's going to take these bottles off of me. I appreciate George for sending them my way and allowing me to do this with you guys. So once again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tune in on Tuesday, the day Seraphim Red releases at 5 o'clock Central, and be in that live chat and be present. Continental United States subscribers only. And somebody's going to win a pair of 2 ounces. Somebody's going to win the pair of 4 ounce. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy this fragrance as much as I do, as well as many others that are going to get it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Y'all have a good one.